All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we got some Gecko Moria action lined up for you today. We have a list that I've been working on, and I was gonna put this out like last week, but then all the new OP10 stuff got released on the sim, and we were able to play with that. So I had to push this one back a little ways, right, for the past like week or two. So maybe, yeah, actually, maybe it was closer to 2 weeks ago that I was going to put this out. But hey, we're going to do that today. We've got a pretty chill, lighthearted video lined up for you today. It's going to be 3 games on the sim of a Gecko Moria deck that's going to be way more board flood style than anything. It will have access to some removal, but the main idea is just to keep flooding the board with characters like the 4-cost Black Gecko Moria and the Thriller Bark stage. Okay, and of course the 8-cost Gecko Moria as well. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and hop into today's video. We'll talk more about it as we get into it. It'll start making more sense, I think. But it's a cool idea I think I had that might have some potential. We'll have to see what happens in the future, and we'll talk more about that as we're getting into this. So first things first, we're going to check out the deck list so you guys can see what's going on, especially for the newer players. Like, so what does this leader even do, right? You can pause and read it if you want to, but we will talk about it in just a moment. After that, we've got 3 games lined up on the sim. Okay, and then after that, we'll talk about the list one more time. We'll kind of break it down. I'll give you guys my final thoughts on it, and we'll wrap things up in that way. Okay, guys? All right, so you know what you're getting into. I'll have everything time-stamped in the general description. I'll have all relevant deck lists and links in the comment section below. And as usual, guys, if you ever have any comments, questions, suggestions, or whatever, please don't hesitate to put those in the comment section below or hop on the VV Theory Discord. The link is in the channel description. Okay? All right, guys, let's do this. Let's get into it. Enough lollygagging. Right, here we go. Let's do this. Excuse me. So first up here, let's go ahead and move the leader screen out, or the leader slide out of the way. So this is the list we're messing around with today. So understand there is still like removal in here. I have Ice Ages, I have Tempest Kicks, and I have the Absaloms. So I can still deal with characters on the board, but it's meant to be way more of a flood style build where I just flood out the board with cards like the 4-cost Gecko Moria and the 1-cost stage, and of course the 8-cost Gecko Moria. We'll talk about those in just a minute. First, let's read the leader effect. What does the leader do? This leader is a 5,000 power, 5 life leader. It has Dawn ×1 when attacking and pay 2. So that's at least a 3 Dawn investment. And then discard 1 card from your hand. Put the top 2 cards of your deck in the trash and play 1 Thriller Bark Pirates type character with a cost of 4 or less from your trash. So the big combo that you're going to see with this deck is with Absalom to remove characters, or with Perona to make them lose cards from their hand. And then in the later stages of the game, of course, you have your Dr. Hogback. That's kind of like how Gecko Moria was made, but now they have 2 other very good actions, or not actions rather, but 2 other very good targets for the leader effect. And that is this new Gecko Moria. It came out in OP09, but it was not working on the sim for quite some time, and that's one of the reasons I was not able to tackle this idea earlier on, or sooner, because this character was not quite working properly on the sim, or at least, yeah, from what I saw. Maybe I misunderstood, but I think there was an error with it. So here's this card, guys. This is a 4-cost 5K, no counter, but it has on play up to 1 character card with the Thriller Bark Pirates type, or trait, and cost 2 or less from your hand, from your trash rested. So this is going to be able to bring back our Cerberus, our new pay to cycle cards, and even our Captain John to make them lose, to do -1 cost to a character. It has some good utility. And then one other target we're starting to cheat out now with the leader effect is this Ryuma. This is a 4-cost, 6,000 power card. It's basically a vanilla, but it doesn't have a counter. But listen to what it does. Dawn ×1, this character gains double attack. So this is a card we can keep cheating out. We can keep cheating this out, right? And then we have this 4-cost 7K double attacker pretty much. Like, we attach 1 Dawn, swing in for double attack. Okay, if you get rid of him, I'll just keep bringing him back. So hopefully you're going to be able to deal with him, right? Because we just keep getting him back over and over and over again if we need to. Or we can attack their hand with Peronas, or attack their board with Absaloms, you name it. So it's got some versatility there. So Absalom, for those who don't know, this is like kind of a staple card in Thriller Bark, especially in Gecko Moria in particular, actually. It has a on play. It's a 4-cost 5K with a 1K counter, Thriller Bark Pirates type, perfectly static for what we're doing. You may return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order, and then KO up to 1 of your KO up to 1 character with a cost of 2 or less. I'm actually very sad they did not give this card a 1K counter, the 4-cost 5K Gecko, because, like, okay, is it really, would it have really been that broken if it was a 4-cost 5K with a 1K counter and still have that effect? Because I've seen cards that are pretty insane that still have 1K counters. Like, look at the 4-cost Law for Doflamingo. The 4-cost blue Trafalgar Law is like it's a 4-cost 5K with a 1K counter, and the on play can bounce a 4 or less, right? I mean, just absolutely insane. And I think some people would even argue that this card is even stronger than Gecko Moria, the 4-cost 5K. So I don't know. I wish they had given this a 1K counter. I really don't think it had broke the game. I think it would have just helped out this leader in particular, and I think it'd have been a good thing for it. But here we are. We got to deal with what we have. Okay, then we have a new pay here. This is just an on-play and on-KO, draw 2, trash 2. Just a great cycle card for the deck. Everyone knows what Gecko Moria does at this point. If you don't, please pause and read it. Cerberus is just a chump blocker in this deck. That's all it is. Hogback is really meant for late game to bring back cards that are really important like Gecko Moria. And there's probably some other options we could add into the list like Negative Hollow or something, but I haven't really messed with that yet. This is still, pretty early stages of development for this deck. Then we have the 2K counter package, Sindri and Perona. Captain John, like I said, this is a good way to reduce cost, and we have it with the stage. So we can go 2 cost, 3,000 power, 1K counter, but we can play it out for 1 Dawn rested with the stage, and then on play, trash 2 cards from the top of your deck, and give up one of your opponent's characters -1 cost during this turn. This is another one where, I don't understand why they underpowered, I don't know why they underpowered Gecko Moria cards so much, because this card's not really broken in this deck, right? And if that is the case, why couldn't this card have been a 2-cost 3K, 1K counter, trash the top 2 cards of your deck to do -2? Because hitting a 4-cost target is extremely, extremely important in this game. So it would have allowed Absalom to actually hit the 4-cost target if this did -2. And I don't think it would have broken anything, especially since when this card, guys, remember, this leader kind of started falling out of favor when it lost Great Eruption. I think Tempest Kick is pretty decent in here, but I just think the Great Eruption was kind of more catered to what we were trying to do with the whole Gecko Moria plus Absalom package. It just made more sense. But Tempest Kick is still pretty good, and we do get some pretty decent value from it in this deck. Okay, next up, so I talked about this card. We talked about this one. We got the Ice Age and Tempest Kick here, and then the stage. So that's the entire deck, and like I said, guys, this is not fully complete. This is just an idea for us to see if we can run with it and try to take it to the next level. So yeah, keep that in mind whenever you're playing this or whenever you're trying this out or checking it out, watching me play the games. Be looking for ideas to take it to the next level. Okay, so now with that in mind, let's go ahead and hop over to the games. Let me put my face camera back up here. Okay, there we go. Good enough. And here we go. So first game up here we have against Red Sanji. The volume is off. The speed is on 2. Oh, now it's on 2x. And here we go. So as you can see my hand here, this is a pretty interesting hand, right? Because we have an Anupe, we're definitely keeping this one, right? That's going to help us get to the cards we need. But we can also attack in very aggressively here. So watch this. I'm going to swing for 6, and I have 2 very good options here. So I could have played the Perona and made them trash a card from hand, or I could play out the Ryuma and put some double attack pressure on the board. So that's kind of the idea there, and I went with the double attack pressure, because that allows me to fill up my trash too, right? And any of these cards will help me fill up the trash. Anything other than like a Hogback or a... what's his name? Absalom. They're going to play out a Zoro, attach a Dawn, swing it for 7. We took 1 and we counted out the other. And here we go. Very nice. So Captain John here is going to be able to drop down the Zoro to a 2. And we're going to be able to pop that with the Absalom here. So this is a very nice interaction. So we'll play out the Absalom. We'll put those 2 on the bottom. Pop that card. We're swinging in for 6. Is he going to counter out of this? We can't really, we can swing in with Ryuma, but it's not double attack unless you attach 1 Dawn. So this is just a 6K attack. He did decide to counter out of it, which is smart, right? It's a lot easier to counter out of a 6K attack than a 7K. They're going to follow up with a Chopper here, and they got 3 Dawn left for the turn. Let's see what they choose to do. Swing for 7, -3,000 to the Ryuma. Very nice. Actually got a Tempest Kick, and that can KO a 3 or less with the trigger. We are going to cash in on that immediately, and now he's going to prioritize taking out my character. We're going to counter out aggressively here, guys. I don't know about that. I think that was a little too aggressive, to be honest. But hey, this guy's in a tough spot now, right? He's going to go 3 into 3. I have 1 more 1K. I did not count that coming in like that. I definitely miscounted there. But we get rid of that. Very nice. We're going to go in for 7. Double attack. He'll probably take. Takes 2 hits. And then right here, we can probably just swing in for 7. And then we'll probably swing in for 7 more, cheating out this other Ryuma from our hand. Okay. We'll attack for 7. Leader effect. Trash the Ryuma. Ooh, Perona makes him trash a card. That's very good as well. Okay, so they're going to have to trash this card. They trash a Zoro, and then they take. They're down to 1. So we have really flooded this board, guys. Remember, this is turn 4. We just went out of our turn 4, and now we're going into their 8 Dawn turn 4. And we have a Gecko Moria in hand. We're pretty much chilling, right? We're pretty much just chilling here. And they're going to go ahead and give up. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know if they did a miscalculation there or what. Maybe they meant to play out a Wapol in another card, but they only had 5 Dawn. I'm not exactly sure what they were going for there, but I'm going to let them have one character. Like, I can't counter out of anything, right? So they're going to go into my characters here, but then I'm just going to slam a Gecko Moria next turn, right? And at that point, or we might even just go for lethal, guys. They're down to, I mean, they're down to 1 life. They did play out a blocker, so if they, that's the thing, right? If they chose to go, if they chose to go into my board there, I actually can go, you know, I could potentially go face next turn, right? I could potentially just go all in at face because they can only attack into 2, and then I'll have 3 attacks on the crackback, even if one's just like a 3K. Okay, still, you know, we can swing in with it. Good game to my opponent there. That was a fun one. Okay, so that was the first game. That one was against Sanji. This next one is against Red-Green Smoker. And guys, Red-Green Smoker is pretty good right now. For those who are not aware, this is a new OP10 leader. Red-Green Smoker is very strong. Okay, so we're going to start off with a Tempest Kick to cycle and draw a card. Fill up our trash a little bit. Right here, we are going to probably just swing into this baby 5. Actually, if we have a... Okay, never mind. I was going to say if we have it, we could just play out the Absalom. We don't have that. So I play out the Gecko Moria. That's going to cheat out the Sindri. That fills up 5 cards in my trash. And we're off to the races now, guys. Now that card is really nice, that new Gecko Moria. Well, again, it's not new. It's from OP09, but it's pretty new for us over here in the West, and it's working on the sim now. Okay, they play out their characters first. That is not good sequencing, so I go ahead and punish them there. I'm going to play out the Thriller Bark here. Okay, cheat out the Cerberus. I'll swing for 5, and then I'm probably going to play out a Absalom. Swing 6, we'll trash a John here. Absalom, we'll put back 2 events that don't matter. Pop the 1 card they have on the board. We're coming in for 6. What are they going to do here? They should 2K counter out unless they're really planning on dropping down a 8-cost kid. But at the same time, I'm just curious as to what they're going to do, right? Like, they're in a situation now where it's like, okay, so what is your game plan in the long term? Because this board is becoming very, very oppressive, and that's what I love about this version of the deck. And we'll talk about it more after these games, because we're only doing 3 games today. This is the second one. Oh, okay, they're going to play out a Smoker. Well, guess what, guys? I see an Absalom in my trash right now, and I have a Perona in my hand. I can literally pop that card with what I have available that we can see right here. Okay, they're gonna swing into our Gecko Moria. We're just gonna take that. We're up to 7 Dawn now, so I can literally play out a Perona and do -4 to the Smoker here. Trash 1 card with leader effect and just bash into him. Okay, gonna swing in for 5. They're gonna 1K counter out. We'll do Perona -3 there. Then we're gonna swing in for 6. Trash the Cerberus. Play out the Absalom. Put 2 cards that don't matter on the bottom of our trash. Get that card out of here. And your turn, sir. We have a completely full board. If you want to attack into my Absalom, be my guest, right? Because that's just going to help us fill up the trash, and it's going to allow us to KO more targets. Okay, they freeze it. They lock it down. Very intelligent. That was a very good play. They're going to swing in for 5. I kind of like aggressively taking this, and I do. And then they're going to swing in for 7. We'll give them the blocker, because remember, guys, we can just keep pulling that blocker back over and over and over again. Okay, they've got a card that's sideways right here, guys. Even if it can draw a card, I kind of like this. Right, I kind of like this. Okay, let's see what we choose to do here. We're going to use the effect from our Thriller Bark stage here. Excuse me. Probably just play out the Cerberus. I'm not really sure what we're trying to do here, to be completely honest with you guys. I'm not sure what the play is here. Okay, I do -1 to the cost of the carrot, but that's only, it's a 4, right? That was kind of a mess up there, guys. That was just a mess up. We'll pull out the Absalom and probably, actually, it looks like we're going to play out a Cerberus active. And then the Absalom rested, and we'll pop the 2-cost blocker. And now we're just gonna go swing 5, swing 5, swing 5. And we have a blocker. We have 3 life. We actually have 4K counter in hand. We're looking pretty good in this situation. They counter out, so now I'm actually gonna swing into their character on the board. Something happened there where I couldn't attack. Oh, they dropped the power of my my leader with that punk hazard effect, that punk hazard event. But my opponent is not out of it yet, guys. Like, they've got a long way to go still, right? This is a very tough situation for them. So let's see what they choose to do. Make sure the speed's on 2x. Yeah, we're good. So he's going to go 6 into 5. I just give him a 7 here. I give a 2K to go to 7. Okay, he's going to go 6 into 4, locking down that character. Okay, well, I can't save that one unless I use the blocker. And then wherever he swings here with Shanks, I'll probably just block out with the Cerberus. Okay, I can 2K counter out of this one and keep all my attackers. Yeah. Okay, so now we block out. He has 2 Dawn active, but guys, I can just simply go across the board here. We'll go in for 9, and then we'll go in for 14. Oh, just kidding. So he is going to use that. He used some kind of event here. It's that same event that allows him to, it's called like Jasushi or something like that. But we're still going to go for it. We're still actually going to try to go for game here, I think. Okay, looks like I might even try something else here. We'll do -3 to the carrot. We'll swing 4 into 4. There's no way he's saving this card. So now we're going to swing 4 into 4. Well, okay, maybe he could have, actually. So we will trash a card from hand here. We'll play out the Absalom and pop the carrot, but then he'll have no cards left in hand. Okay, so he kind of just jumped out of the game there. He was in a tough spot, guys, because after this turn, okay, so what will he be able to do? He could probably swing. He could take out my Gecko Moria. He could take out just any other of these cards right here. But then when he plays out this Eustace Kid, or I guess he could baby 5 search. But whenever he goes to play next turn, I'm just going to be able to smash into the Eustace Kid, right? He can't save it unless he gets some crazy cards with baby 5 or something. So good game to my opponent, though. That was a fun one. That's a tough matchup there. That is a tough matchup there. Okay, now one more. We got one more game. This one's versus Blackbeard. Whoops, there we go. You might be wondering, like, well, how good is this deck into Blackbeard? Because that's probably going to be a pretty standard matchup coming up here soon, especially in OP10. Well, I think the deck's going to do pretty well into Blackbeard. I don't think it's going to be, like, insane or anything like that, but I think it's going to be pretty good. They're going to black hole right away, which is very smart. That is very, very smart. But I'm going to swing 6 into 5. I'm still going to trash a card to cheat out cards to fill up my trash. That is important to do here. They can't stop my win attacking effect for my leader unless they do something later in the game to stop my attack. You know, that's or some type of Blackbeard effect or something like that. Or negation from events. You guys know what I mean. So here we go. Looks like they did black hole again. I'm swinging for 7 into 5. This has double attack, guys. This is a huge attack. There goes 2 life. Okay. All right. Well, if that's the case, we'll swing in for 6. We'll just trash this Gecko Moria. We'll play out the other one. It's just a 5k body. We've got 1 Dawn left. We can use the stage now. We'll go ahead and cheat out this Captain John guy. And all of a sudden, all the removal in the world is not going to stop them from me filling out the board because of what my leader does. Right? That's the nice thing about this leader. Or at least about this style, this version of the deck. Because they keep trying to cancel my effects with their leader, which they're doing very well. But, okay, so for example, they just pop my Ryuma, right? Next turn, I can just swing for 6 with my leader, tap 2, and trash a card, and the Ryuma comes right back. Okay, they get rid of the Captain John. Yeah, I'm not going to save that card. Okay, so they use Black Hole again. This guy is being very diligent with his leader effect. But guess what? We're just going to keep attacking in, guys. We're just going to keep smashing in. Just keep beating up the board. We'll swing for 7. We'll trash this Anupe. We'll pull out the Ryuma. Again, that's just going to be a looming threat for the rest of the entire game. Play out that Anupe. Let's see if he wants to attack that, because that has an on KO to let me draw 2 trash 2. So he can't really play around that. And I'm filling the board up. Seems good. Seems good, right? Okay, so let's see what they do. They're down to 5. They're down to 5 cards in hand. So are we. We have 4 life. They have 3, but we have almost a full board. And I know they're not the biggest cards out there, but a 4-cost 6k double attacker, not too bad. Okay, so right there I do counter out aggressively there. I'm trying to see what he wants to do. He has 7 Dawn left, I think, or 6 or 7. I think it's 7 Dawn left. Let's see what he's going to do here. He should have a few options. He should be able to go -4 with Laboon and then pop something. Oh, okay. So he's going to play out the Kuzan, getting out of Van Augur. They're going to get a Doc Q with that as well. -3 to that guy, popping that guy. And now they're going to swing for 5 into 5. I have a 1k counter. I'm saving it. I'm trying to keep the pressure on, right, guys? Because I can eat this whole board up now. This whole board is mine, right? That's the way you need to see this. This entire board is mine. Swing for 7 into 5. We'll trash. I think I should trash the Ice Age was a little bit risky, I will say, but we'll go 7 into 5. That card's gone. Now we're going to go 8 into 6. That card's gone. And then Anupe is about to get in there. 3 into 0. They will get a draw card. We're going to use the Thriller Bark stage here. Cheat out a blocker. And again, guys, we just keep going straight down the line, right? We keep going straight down the board here. If they would print a Thriller Bark card that would allow you to draw cards, there's 3 cards that I want from Thriller Bark, guys. I'll tell you all after this. Actually, I'll probably just tell you now while we're waiting for this guy, because we do have this in 2x speed. Volume's off. Yeah, speed is 2x. I want a blocker that I can pull out of the trash, even if it's like a 3-cost. If they try to make it like where it needs to be more balanced, if a 4-cost would be too strong. I want a blocker I can pull out of the trash that's not Cerberus, 3 or 4-cost. Then I want a really strong 2-cost 4k body that just has like something that can annoy my opponent. And then I'd like to see some card draw for Thriller Bark exclusively. Okay, let's see what happens here. So he does lock down my Ryuma, but I've got 5s coming in across the board. Guys, what is my opponent supposed to do here? He did not use leader effect, by the way, so that was probably a slight play mistake there. I probably should have played out the Perona there and get something out of that. So we'll swing in for 7. He'll probably take this. He can also just counter out because I can't even swing into his guy now. Okay, here we go. I'm trying to do a little bit of math in my head right now. You notice what's going on. I'm trying to see, like, okay, I think I goofed. Because remember, he did not use leader effect this turn. I should have cheated out the Perona when he had 5 cards in hand. That would have been a very big deal. And swinging for 7 doesn't make sense. Like, why not just swing for 5? But again, that's okay. We're learning. We'll swing for 7. We're going to use the effect probably here, trashing the Gecko Moria in hand. Okay, or not. I'm just choosing not... Oh, because I need all 4 Dawn. Excuse me. I'm going to play out the Gecko Moria. There were some other ideas here as well. So hear me out, guys. So there is a Absalom in my trash. I can pop my own characters with Absalom, right? So you guys, I just want to make sure you guys understand that. Absalom is worded in a very unique way where he can pop your own characters. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. He's going to play out the Lafitte. He's going to play out Van Auger. He's going to play out Doc Q. He's just removing everything back to back to back. So he's going to swing 6 and a 5. We are going to try to save this here. We're going to save this and keep the pressure on. That was their entire turn. And look at this, guys. I can just go straight into their entire board. They're going to trash the new 2K counter Shiryu to get out of that. Or to turn off my own play effects for the turn. Not a big deal. We'll go 3 into 1. The board's gone. Right, the board's gone, guys. Okay. Swing 2 into 0. I'm like, yep, I don't even care that it's a blocker. Fine with me. Now we're going to swing for 9 into 6. Or 8, excuse me, 8 into 6. We'll trash some card from my hand there. I think we should just get back the Ryuma. This is just a constant threat. That is a card that was very smart of them to add. Yeah, right here I think I should go 8 more. And then I'll go 6. If he 2K, 1Ks to get out of this, we'll go 6 into it as well. And if he doesn't, we'll just fill stuff out on the board. Okay. And 6. Okay. Does he have it? He does. He does have the 1K counter, but still, I still have 4 life, guys. And now my board is completely full, right? My board is completely full. Okay, let's see what he does now. This is a very tough spot to be in. I mean, what would you do in this situation, right? I mean, we know he's gone through like 2 or 3 Doc Qs. Okay, there's the Shiryu. Excuse me, that's not a 2K counter. That's the new one. The new Shiryu is not a 2K counter. My apologies, guys. But it has the ability to pop a 3 or less base cost. They play out another Doc Q, guys. They get rid of my Ryuma with the Van Auger combo. They're gonna swing 5 in. I'm like, nope, we're gonna counter out of that because I just don't know what else they can do in this situation. Okay, he's going to play out a Burgess, so that means he has no cards in hand. So, pause. We have lethal, right? I think we just have lethal, correct? So, if we go swing 5, it has to go through. Swing 7. Again, if he doesn't, if he can block it if he wants to, then I can get out of that. And then we can swing 9 with the leader. So, 5, 7, 9. Well, I guess we could, technically we wouldn't have lethal. It depends on what he does with this teach. But that does complicate it. So, maybe I will actually keep going for the board here because we're not quite in a rush yet. So 5, maybe I'll go 7, 7, 8. That might be the play here. Swing 5, swing 7, swing 7, swing 8. Okay, he's going to take, of course. And GG, he got no counters from hand. That is one of the downsides to the new Kuzan card. It doesn't have any counter. But good game to my opponent there. Blackbeard is a very tough matchup for anyone, and it's a very tough leader to pilot properly and at the highest level. So good game to them. Okay, so one thing I want to mention real quick about Absalom, guys, is I do want to bring up the card list real quick. Y'all give me just a moment. I'm going to just bring this over here. Okay, can y'all see this good? Okay, so let me just bring up Absalom. What was he? OP06, Black, Absalom. The way that this card is worded says you may return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order, and then KO up to 1 character with a cost of 2 or less. So my head's completely in the way for y'all, isn't it? There you go. Pause and read that if you need to, but just understand, it's after the colon is what matters for what we're trying to do. KO up to 1 character with a cost of 2 or less. So notice it doesn't say one of your opponent's characters. It's just a character. Now, typically speaking, they would say character, right? Notice like Brooke in this one down here at the bottom, KO up to 1 of your opponent's 0 cost characters. That's pretty much how every card is worded for the most part for balance purposes. Other than cards that sacrifice your own characters, like obviously like Orlumbus and even the 4 cost, the 4 cost card, whereas the Ors. Like this card, of course, that makes sense. You know, this is different. But typically speaking, even like Shigan Finger Pistol, K up to one of your opponent's characters, Truna Bastardo, K up to one of your opponent's characters. You know, that's just how they're all worded. But Absalom is worded in the way he is. He's worded this way in particular so that he can pop his own characters like Inupe or the 2-cost Spider named Tararin or something like that. Here he is. Yeah, these have on KO effects. And your opponent might think like, yeah, I'm not going to give him that effect because it's going to fill up his trash. Well, guess what? We can actually KO our own cards with Absalom if needed. Now, don't get me wrong. 99% of the time or something close to that, you're going to want to use Absalom in conjunction with an Ice Age or a Tempest Kick or a Captain John to pop the board on your opponent's side. That's typically what you're trying to do, right? We don't want to KO our own characters if we can help it. We'd rather KO our opponent's characters and then force them to attack into our characters with strong on KO effects. But I will say that right now. Let me just go back to the cards that I wish Thriller Bark had. I wish they had a very... I mean, I guess Kumasi is a decent 2-cost card later in the game where all of a sudden... So let me read this card for those who don't know what it does. It's a 2-cost, 3,000 power, 1k counter, Thriller Bark Pirates character. It has Dawn ×2 on your turn. For every 5 cards in your trash, this character gains plus 1,000 power. So it's kind of like a miniature version of Burgess, right? It's like it's weaker and it doesn't have resilience, but it only costs 2, and we can cheat it out every single turn with something like Thriller Bark or this new Gecko Moria 4-cost, right? Again, I keep saying new. It's from OP09, so bear with me with that. But other than that, I do wish... There are parts of me that would just rather not even play this card at all. I think I would almost rather just go Terrarin, because he's just a constant 2-cost 3k that starts filling up my trash and gets me to answers faster in the deck. But we'll see. I'm not saying Kumasi's a bad card. This card, Jigoro of the Wind, this one I'm not a huge fan of either. It's really meant to be comboed more with Shadow's Asgard. You don't have to combo with that, but that's kind of the logic there, right? I'm just not a huge fan of it. But it's not bad either. So with that in mind, I mean, I would almost, let me see something for Thriller Bark. Whoops. So for Thriller Bark, so notice how they have a 4-cost 6k in the deck. It's just a vanilla 4-cost 6k like in the card pool. I think this is excellent. Some people are probably going to yell at me for not playing this card, by the way, the new Perona. I don't like this card. I don't know what it is. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, but be nice. 4 cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter, activate main once per turn. You may place 2 cards with a Thriller Bark type from your trash at the bottom of your deck in any order, and then up to one of your characters other than Perona gain plus 2,000 power during this turn. I mean, I guess it's a way to buff characters. Excuse me, guys. I guess it is a way to buff characters and fill up your trash, you know, prevent you from, like, decking out. But at the same time, it's just like, there are so many cards I want in this deck that I can't fit in here. Like, for example, I would like 1 or 2 Shadows Asgard. First of all, that draw 2 trash 1 trigger is insane. And then negative hollow. This is another one, you know, you can keep fishing back with Hogback. I'm a huge fan of this card. And I can't even fit those in the deck. Or Jigoro of the Wind, or the Kumasi. Where's he at? Wherever Kumasi is. There he is. It's like, man, this is a struggle. But at the same time, I wish they just had a 2-cost 4k vanilla, like how they have a 4-cost 6k vanilla. But more than anything, I just wish they had a blocker. Notice this, guys. None of these cards are blockers. Not one of them, other than Cerberus, obviously. That's why we run 4 of those. But every single other card does not have blocker. And I like that we get Thriller Bark to keep pulling back blockers like this, but I feel like we need something else. And if they don't give us something else, that's when we have to use Gecko Moria with, like, Navy cards. Like, and it's like... I don't know how else to say this, guys. I don't want to get outside of Thriller Bark. I want to keep a deck very consistent, and I want to be able to get cards out of the trash. But who knows? Maybe in the future they'll add that. I just don't think it'd be that OP. I don't think it'd be that overpowered. Also, there is this EB02 card I have not messed with or anything. I have not done anything with this card. His name is Hildon. He is a 3-cost, 3,000 power, 2k counter. So that's good. It is a 2k counter. We can cheat out with our leader effect, but not the stage. And it says, on play, trash 2 cards from the top of your deck, and then give up to one of your opponent's characters -1 cost during this turn. I just don't understand why it can't be -2. Like, in fact, I can't understand why it can't be -3 cost, guys. Like, for example, like, I actually think that this Captain John card is a 2-cost, 3,000 power, 1k counter. I think you should be able to pull out and go -2 to the board, or -2 to a character on the board. And I think that that new Childon card, or Hildon, or whatever his name is, I think he should be able to do -2 at least as well, or maybe even -3. And for people who are thinking like, yeah, but that's insane with Absalom. Okay, it is. That's fine. You know, that's fine. Another thing I would like, though, this is just me personally. It's like if they would just remove this card, they could print really strong built-in support for, you know, other decks, right? Like, for example, Gecko Moria, if they had just removed Ice Age as opposed to Great Eruption, I feel like this wouldn't have been a problem. And I know there's a lot of good players out there who are like, no, you don't understand, Ice Age isn't the problem. Hey, teach their own. I'm not going to argue with anybody about it. That's just my personal opinion. I think it's a great card. I think it's so good you should run as a 4 of in every black deck. I think it's that good, guys. I think it's that good. Same idea with Gecko Moria, right? There's certain cards that just kind of, you know, it is what it is. Maybe not as a 4, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. Great card, great trigger, pops a 3 or less, goes -5. I'm hitting 7 costs with my Absalom and no other effect. So, like, think about it like this. I can go Tempest Kick, Ice Age, Absalom to pop any character in the game, or even just, like, Ice Age, Thriller Bark out a Captain John to go 5, 6, and hit an 8 cost. So there's just so many good, there's just tons of good possibilities to pop things with Absalom in this deck. There's also an idea to bring to put Suru in, but that's up to you. That's up to however you want to build this. Because don't get me wrong, guys, I'm not saying this is like the best version of Gecko Moria. Please do not misunderstand. This is just a cool idea that I had with the Thriller Bark stage and this 4-cost Gecko Moria. I just wanted to make like this board flood style deck, and it's what I'm working on. It's what I'm having fun with, and I'm trying to keep it as Thriller Bark as possible, as you guys can see right here. The only things that are not Thriller Bark cards are cards that I would consider insane, right? Just Ice Age and Tempest Kick, and there's even some idea to add in Brooks and Rebecca's, and then it just becomes like a generic black deck. But I'm trying to keep this one as Thriller Bark as possible. Hopefully you guys know what I'm saying. If you are more interested in like just a straightforward Gecko Moria deck, I would recommend this one. Let me find it real quick. Give me just a second, guys. It's right here. I just called it Gecko 9. This is just like a very standard, solid Gecko Moria deck that I'd recommend. It's got, you know, brand new filling up the trash. It's got the Sindries. It's got the Perona. It's got 12 2K counters, right? And they all can help you out in different ways. Perona fills up your trash. Sindri fills up your trash. Perona attacks their hand or has cost reduction. And then Suru also has cost reduction. And everyone knows how good this card is in conjunction with Gecko Moria later in the game. But we're also running 2 Helmapos and 3 Hinas for other support. Got the Brand New, got the Rebecca, Absalom, the Ice Ages. Yeah, Kuzan is a 4 of. 2 Borsalinos. The Brooks, like I was saying, the Hogback. And you could probably find a way to fit 1 or 2 Sabos in the deck as well, because it does fill up your trash. There's definitely room for improvement even for this list here. But yeah, back to what we were saying. I don't remember what I called it, guys. Let me see if I can find it. I think it was B. Here it is, B Moria Beats. So this is what we're working on for now, though. I want to know what you guys think. That's pretty much it for today's video. Like I said, it was going to be a pretty chill, lighthearted, quick video by my standards. Yeah, okay, still, you know, right around the 30-minute mark. We'll take that. But yeah, guys, what do y'all think about Gecko Moria? Oh, one more card. Let me at least mention this before we move on. This is a 4-cost 5K from OP07. It's a 1K counter. Activate main. Place 4 cards from your trash with the type Thriller Bark on the bottom of your deck. And then this character gains banishment plus 1,000 power for the turn. So definitely consider this if you find yourself running out of cards in your deck very often. This card and the Perona will help you fill your deck back up. And at that point, you can fill it up the way you need to. So, yeah, that's something to definitely take into consideration. I personally am not a huge fan of this card. The Banish is nice, but, again, I just haven't found it practical. So maybe there's a 1 or 2 of. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. All right, well, that's it, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Let me go ahead and get out the playmat page. Thank you to everybody who supports the channel. Guys, whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, whatever you're doing to help out the channel, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Big shout out to all the VV Pirates playmat supporters over here for buying the playmat and supporting me in that way. Thank you so much. Hope you guys are enjoying your playmat. And then, of course, to the members now, the VV Pirates YouTube members on YouTube. I need to update this list, but yeah, this is all from the pretty much all of this comes from people who are watching me stream now. So, guys, I stream Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on YouTube. So hop on there. It's a good time. We have a lot of fun. We talk about crazy different ideas and decks and stuff like that in one piece. And then last but not least, oh, and a big shout out to everybody who became a member, because it's only $3 a month. And then last but not least, guys, the VV Pirates patron page here. Thank you to everybody on here who literally just donated money to help me out. Literally for no other reason. Just trying to keep the dream alive, the channel afloat, and to keep the channel afloat and keep things going. All right, I'm done. I really want to hear what y'all have to say about this Gecko Moria deck. Do y'all like the idea of flooding the board, or would you rather have one more controlling, or what? What's your ideas? All right, I'm done. Till next time, guys. Peace.